Derivative trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 30th. So I wake up. Here's my morning routine. Like, I get up, I go to the bathroom. You know, you got to sit down. You always got to put your hand down to make sure that the seat is actually there, especially when it's in the dark. You listen in, ladies, you got to put your hand. So I do that. It's not there. Put the toilet seat down, sit down, pull out my phone. First thing I do is I go to TradingView, look at all my charts. Everything's moving. Everything's moving. My first thought, Donald Trump must have tweeted something. So I go and I look, nothing on CNBC, go to Twitter. Yep, Donald Trump tweeted something. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Uzi. Good morning, Luke Nuke. We can see there a little bit of a move. Pretty much everything moved. S&P 500 down pretty significantly. I'm quite surprised, actually, because, like, really, did you really think that we were getting the China trade deal anytime soon? Given the way that it's been going, you had to have. I mean, come on. They're not pricing that in. I'm surprised. But I digress. That's where we're at right now. If we come back over here, even the Bitcoin moved. The Bitcoin moved up a little bit too. And the Bitcoin is just all over the place. You know what? That chart is no good. We need to roll over. Roll over. There we go. Okay. Now you can see it. All right. So there was the Bitfinex nonsense, and then today a little bit of a jump. Anyways, so that's where we're at. And I can see that the market is moving up on the open. I think I could probably buy that if they let me. Gotta be, let's see here. So we have some news today, right? It is the core PCE price index in 10 minutes. We are expecting a reading of spot 1 versus a previous reading of spot 2, which is quite low. Normally, it's going to be spot 2. We would like it to be spot 3. Personal spending month over month, we're expecting spot 3 versus a previous reading of spot 4. Now, if those readings are significantly out of line, let's say we're expecting spot 1 and we get a spot 3 or a spot 4 on that number, that could throw the markets into complete chaos and could completely change everybody's expectations for what the Federal Reserve is going to do next. So that's where we're at, essentially. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Let's make sure that we got everything up over here. Changed the date. Oh, but I have Discord. And Twitter. Senate is working hard on America's Transportation Infrastructure Act. Will have a big impact on our highways and roads all across the nation. Interest is strong from Republicans and Democrats. Do I hear the beautiful word bipartisan? Get it done. I'm with you. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do it. He's also talking about Morning Joe. Let's see here. Morning Joe and Psycho ratings have really crashed. Very small audience. People are tired of hearing fake news delivered with anger that is not to be believed. Sad when the show was saying they helped me get elected. Thanks. Was on all the time. Lost all of its juice. Okay, well, I'm liking so far the way that I'm getting filled. I do have to admit, though, this one's a little bit questionable. Basically, we got a signal down here at 14, and it's come up. We are late to the trade, but based on the swing, there could still be some more left in it, so we're going with it. A couple of bids there. Something on the ask though at 16. And let's tweet. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. I think we can just kind of let this go do its thing for a second. Oh, there's an iceberg at 15.5. That's not. Okay. Good push. So it's giving me another signal. This one looks like it's potentially a continuation. Yeah. Go, come on. Do it. Okay, so the 5-year is at its high. That's not helpful. The E-mini is moving around a lot too. It seems to be causing some of the volatility. I can see some odd movement on the ask. They absorbed quite a bit there at 15.5, and then the offer pulled. Oh, we do need to get out of this, actually. So now it's getting too close to the news. I think I'm going to duplicate this in a new window. I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to change this to CB. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Fine. That should have been +2. I feel robbed, but that's okay. Okay, here comes the news. Bum, bum, bum. They are ticking higher. 1.6 versus 1.7 expected, so it was not as good as expected. And that's surprising. Well, I hate how they always give the wrong number. Who cares about the year-over-year number? Oh, okay, so it came in as expected on that number. Personal spending month-over-month, spot 3 versus expected spot 3. Personal income, spot 4 versus spot 4. So they're saying the numbers are in line. Numbers in line, though, may mean, okay, so there's an iceberg at 17. There's a big iceberg at 17. That is pretty unusual. Are they going to get trapped there? No. That could push us higher. No, I guess not. I think I should have waited there. Is that the line in the sand at 17? So seeing it tick slowly here and everything is not a positive sign. That should have just gone. That came down. Okay, so there's an 8 tick down. Yes, okay. That one was a little tepid, but it really gave it in the ZB. Curious? Hmm? Okay, the 5-year is pushing back now. 10-year not quite going along yet. A lot of asks there, though. A lot of asks really far out. Good uptick. It's a pretty narrow opening range, isn't it? Well, it did it again and it went sideways that time. There's a lot of fiddling around with big orders really far away. Hmm. That big iceberg there at 13.5. This situation is a little weird and not quite like what we've seen before, so I'm not quite sure what to do about it. Because you're getting a lot of signals in a very tight area. I think, though, it's still saying that it's going to turn here. 5 years gonna have to. I'm a little cautious here because it looks like that move back down was on pulling, not on fundamental. They did sell all of that though. And the level 2 still looks negative. Getting another big amount of stuff going on in the ZB. Oh, that's weird. Jigsaw's messed up. Because the blue, that 13.5 should be blue. Well, this is not going so well. Took 3 on both of those. No, Donald Trump is tweeting again. China's lost 5 million jobs and 2 million manufacturing jobs due to the Trump tariffs. Trump's got China back on its heels, and the United States is doing great. Wow. That's pretty strong selling, don't you think? I guess here on this one, you could have taken that short at 14. Was on the wrong end of it. Below 19, the downside targets are 13 and 11. That's that opening range right there. No, that is right. The cumulative delta there in the 5 years kind of seems off to me. Hmm. And he makes it tick down again. I'm not quite sure I understand what's going on here. Why is selling so strong? Well, I'm getting a signal that's possibly a reversal in the 30 year, so. That 11.5 is really holding well, too. Oh, was the Democrat? I thought the debate was today and when it was Wednesday and Thursday. Did I get that wrong? I guess it was the 30th and 31st, wasn't it? Fight at the initial balance saloon. Well, if this trade works out, it's going to be a really awesome one just because of the location, huh? I don't know though. They really sold that. I'm really quite surprised. Oh yeah, it is Tuesday and Wednesday on CNN. It's a little bit earlier in the night though, so that's nice. Now, finally, look at that. 3K? May consider simplifying some of your charts and signals. Well, I think to really see what I need to see, I need to have, well, two of those columns I might get rid of. I'm still trying to figure out a way to make those ones work. I would at least have the 3. It's like, I don't know, they bought 3K there at 12. But it didn't follow through. Something quite odd is going on. Seems like ZB doesn't necessarily want to go. Okay, so we bought another 3,000 at 12. Or rather, they sold another 3,000 at 12, but... And once again, the bid doesn't hold. So there they do it again. That time it didn't clear. Well, okay, there they finally got it. What's with all those asks? 12 and 12 half. Pulling. No, they're stacking. An indicator to adjust the high and the low a bit based on providing room for the font. We can need it's looking to me like we got a legitimate long signal, but the offers are not giving up very easily. So I think that in this situation, I kind of have to just stick with it and see what happens. But there's a decent chance that it's going to roll back in our face. Now, if they hold on and they eventually pull this out, you could get a really good move up because of how much volume is traded here. But at the moment, that the bids at 12 are not impressing me. See, they're actually kind of afraid to take it. Well, they took it that time. I didn't get immediately smacked down. Maybe we could get a flip here. Okay. Brief flip. 5-year ticked up. It's at the high of its range, though. My stomach was making lots of weird noises this morning. I feel like I'm a little too quiet today. I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys. Well, there you go. So that was a little bit of a scuffle for the uptick, but there was definitely some stops and so forth. Okay. Is your anticipated risk reward always the same? No. And the orders that you see placed on the screen automatically when I take a trade are not necessarily representative of my risk reward. That would be like, those are like the maximums. Like if I get 8, I'm almost always taking it. If I lose 4, I'm almost always taking it. But I'm more likely to be taking it off at 2 or 3 and, taking the profits at 4 to 6. But, I just, when I get the opposing signals, when I get out. Which makes it hard because you've still got to pick your price pretty well. But I do okay with that. Like this one was only 1 MAE. Although I don't think so. When we came in here, first trade was good, but I missed the exit. Second trade, I think, was a misread on my part. And third trade, I think I read that one correctly, but it failed. Now we're getting this one. It's a good read. We'll see how much I can get out of it. Well, 3,000 at 12.5. That's interesting. And they're just trading mighty big icebergs today. I guess another thing we need to keep in mind is that this is only like my second day trying to trade like this. And, the first day was like crazy bad slow. So making some mistakes are going to be expected. Trying to stay focused here, though, to keep an eye out for the potential exit. They've taken some pretty good hits at 12.5 and survived, so you can see though, so like the bid is stacking up to 3 and the ask is not backing off. They actually stacked a little bit there. But I'm not seeing widespread interest. Bouncing off the opening range high, though, is positive. And pretty soon here in ZB, the bull bear zone high. But they're going to have to buy through these sellers, and there's a lot of them up there. Let's see if any of them pull. If we uptick. If. That's a big if. So you can see that stack at 13. It bounced to stop out some late short entries, but 127.30 needs to go bid. Okay, so we ticked up a little bit pulled. Some of that pulled on the uptick. $127.13. Bounced to stop out some late short entries, but 127.13 needs to go bid. Yeah. Uh, this is pretty stubborn right there. The bid does seem stronger, more aggressive still. At least way back here, right? But it seems like the offers are determined to hold that right there at 13. Probably because ZB is like in a range there and is saying for the moment that they don't want to go. There's a big iceberg at 12.5. And that's not the first time we've seen big iceberg on the bid since we've started moving back up. It seems to me that the cumulative delta is still very much short in the 10-year at least. If we ever do get an uptick, it's going to be awesome, but Case-Hiller home price appreciation slows for 14th straight month. Hu Shixin. Whenever it's time to negotiate, the US side comes up with the trick of piling pressure. Really not a good habit. Americans need to change their negotiating style, show more sincerity, not just wield stick. The past 1.5 years have proved big stick is useless to China. I don't think that is a very good negotiating strategy, because I believe that this is a state-sponsored media outlet that I'm reading here, right? Happy Tuesday. Hey, thanks for stopping by again, No Monkey. What was I going to say? They're saying, oh, don't put so much pressure on us. But, I mean, here's the problem with China's negotiating strategy, is that what they're asking for is stupid. Right? Like, the United States basically comes in and says, well, in order to have a trade deal, you need to not steal, not cheat, not lie, and then we can have a good trade deal. And if they come in and they say, that's too much pressure. I can't do a Chinese accent. But if they think that that's too much pressure, then this is never going to get done. Because if just the base ask is too much pressure, then what's going to happen when it gets down to the wire? And I would say number two is that this kind of makes China look like babies. I'm not quite sure I understand this negotiating strategy of theirs, but okay, whatever. So they took out 7,000 on the bid at 12.5. Are you related to Toe Jam? This sounds like a setup for a really bad joke. So I'm going to say no, and we'll see what he says. Easy bands, I have no friends. Okay, they ticked back up. This is a pretty big iceberg at 12.5. That bid, that offer at 13 is not pulling away. Having trouble speaking today. Can you tell? Have you used the dark web? No, I don't use the dark web. I have no need for that. I thought Mr. Potato Heads weren't sold anymore. I'm pretty sure that they do sell them. I bet you that if we went to Amazon, we could find some Mr. Potato Heads. But we'll see. I can't look away, but maybe later we'll go and we'll try and find a Mr. Potato Head on Amazon if you would like. This has gone back and forth here at 12.5 quite a few times. Is it giving me the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? It has. So. You say negated below 10? Mr. Potato Head is the main character in Toy Story. Of course, they still sell it. Uzi is probably right. Uzi is probably right. Well, now that we've got that going, and I'm just kind of hands off here for a second. There we go. Oh yeah, there's definitely. Look at that. You get all sorts of stuff. You get pretty elaborate Mr. Potato Heads now. Only $20. They come with like entire suits. Good grief. Good grief. Chewbacca. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, dude. You see that? I'm glad that those idiots came in here and tried negging me just so that we would look that up and I saw that. Doesn't that just make your whole fucking day? Chewbacca, Mr. Potato Head. Freaking things that people come up with these days. Okay, well, we're getting an 11 tick zipper here, so normally I would try shorting that one, but I really don't like it. So I'm just going to be out. I'm really disappointed, though, that only gave me 2. Did it give me 3? Did it ever tick 3? No, it never did. I should also add that I was in it for 20 minutes, so that is a get out. I suspect that what might happen here in this one is that we might get a false breakout. We've been doing that a lot lately. We'll see if that trend continues, but these probability of these is that they reverse. I don't like taking them at the low, but it's 2 ticks from the low, so I don't know. The probability is that this one goes back down. Low T bald jokes, yeah, I don't know. I haven't taken any blood tests on that sort of a thing lately, but last time that we did, I was pretty average. This thing that's so weird is that when you look at almost everything, like measurement, because I do weightlifting, right? So we keep track of this stuff, all right? And I am really average. I am average height. I am average weight. Well, I'm average weight when I'm not training, but I'm above average weight because I've got more muscle. Like just everything, but except for my wrists. I have really tiny wrists, and so I'm not super bulky or anything like that. Man, I'm just thinking back on this. 20 minutes and the best you can get is 2 ticks back up. That doesn't mean that they're not going to push it up further, but man, it sure seems like the sellers are really selling, Well, look, there's more icebergs at 12.5. Oh, I'm saying knocking a dude for being bald is pretty low energy bullshittery. Well, but have you noticed, though, that probably about half of the people that stop by on Twitch are usually come in and they just make a dumb joke and then disappear. And I think that they might even like record it or something for fun, but it seems like a lot of that on Twitch for the not large channels are just kind of trolling. Is there a particular reason you scalp? Seems like bonds are low volatility. You would be better off swing trading. Just my 2 cents. No, they're totally trolls. I'm just pointing out the way that Twitch works. It's kind of weird, right? But it's nice. It always is nice to have like a little bit of a change, and people keep you on your toes. So I don't really mind it. I find them amusing, to be honest. I don't think we've ever really had trolls come in that really bother me. Now, there was been in the past some people that come in and were obviously full of crap and stick around for a while. And those people, I cannot stand that. I am such a, I have very high, I rank very, what's the proper way of saying this? I rank very low in agreeableness, right? This is my personality. Anyways, so why scalp? Oh my gosh. Holy shnikes. Being trolled as an honor means you're growing? Yeah, that might be true too. What just happened there? Was there some tweet or something? I don't know, man. That's freaking weird. Oh, is Donald Trump being interviewed now? Because I see for Squawk, Trump says U.S.-China trade talks are going well. Trump says wants to see Fed make a large rate cut. Have not seen anything quite like that before. Well, we're going to sit back and relax and wait for another signal, but that was kind of weird. Man. See, I'm just about to go in and answer the real question, and then I get interrupted. Trump talks like nonstop, like 5 a.m. to midnight. He's on one today. He's on the warpath this week, man. This is what happens. No, let's answer the other question first, and I'll tell you what he does, right? There you go. 13 goes bid. Yeah. I think I could have stayed in that, but the 11 tick zipper is something that I have back tested so extensively that I don't want to mess with that one. So hands off. So the reason that I scalp is that I only have the first 2 hours of the trading session to trade. And I have found that it's very, very difficult to get a good swing trade in that particular amount of time. My risk tolerance is also very, very low. If I had, like $50,000 to trade, then maybe I would try swing trading it and holding overnight and stuff. But with the way that things are right now, I just don't think that it's appropriate. And I enjoy it. I mean, the thing is that bonds are so low volatility. That's absolutely true. But and would you make more from swing trading? Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I would probably be better off just trying to manage a portfolio, right? I probably would make more money if I just put money into stocks and managed a portfolio. You know what I mean? And for me, I am a horrible scalper, so I don't do it anymore, but I also know some people who are better scalpers. Well, there you go. And I'm not sure or not if scalping is really conducive to my personality, but it's conducive to my life situation, right? I can come in, I can scalp for 2 hours, I can have fun. If it's a bad time of year, I can just trade sim. I think it's a pretty good setup for me. And we got a really, really great channel. I can't express enough how much having the trading room that we've created has helped, and how much I appreciate it. Like it's really fun, and I love doing it. Anyways, yeah. Remember again that kind of what I'm doing is something a little bit new, right? So I'm kind of still taking the same kind of trades that I would normally, but I have a very, very specific thing that I'm looking for now. Whereas before I was much more discretionary. So I think that today I misread that first one though, which really sucks because it would have been a great trade. But I saw that going through. They seemed like they were holding it, and then all of a sudden they lost it and just got creamed. And you gotta wonder what that guy, what people were thinking with that 10K order up at the top. But some sort of a head fake, I guess. The president also expressed skepticism of the Chinese side and trade negotiations ongoing this week. Trump says there will be a great deal with China or none at all. Hey, there's Ace. A little late this morning. Oh, well, hey, you know what? How do we got... Well, I don't see wrong. We don't quite have everybody in. Trump and Bojo. Who's Bojo? Joe Biden? They definitely do provide entertainment. Honestly. Oh, Boris Johnson. Yeah, I don't really understand what's going on in the UK, but it sounds like a lot of fun stuff is going on in the UK. Anyways, so there was something else we were going to talk about, weren't we? Oh, Donald Trump. So here's my theory about Donald Trump. You ready for this? My theory is that Donald Trump has ADHD. Whenever I've gone, because I have ADHD, and when I go into the ADHD clinic and they have like a little poster on the wall of like famous people with ADHD to say, hey, just because you have ADHD doesn't mean that you can't be successful in life. There are many people that have been extremely successful in life that had ADHD. Cool. And Donald Trump's name is one of the names on that list. And I always wonder, how did they know? Has he confirmed that he has ADHD? But I can kind of see the patterns in it. Okay? Like when he starts talking, a lot of people don't like the way that they talk. They say that it's like word salad and they can't follow his thought process. It's because he's just full ADHD mode at that point. Makes sense? The words are just coming out as they come to his mind, and there is absolutely no filter. It is the way that he talks is 100% a sign of ADHD. Okay. And what can happen to people with ADHD? They also have a bit of trouble regulating emotions. And so you can kind of go into a manic stage. So what will happen is he goes out and he does something, right? So where did it start? I'm trying to remember what he was tweeting about before Elijah Cummings. But he had started something. Well, maybe it was the AOC thing. I guess the AOC thing kind of emboldened him, right? And then Elijah Cummings comes out and he's just full bore on that. He's got his strategy in his head. And then the way that a lot of ADHD people, what is the word, compensate for this is they have the strategy in the back of their head, and then they just go along with whatever's going at the moment. So, if their gut says that it helps them with that strategy, then they go through. They don't really think it through, and it just comes out. And that's what he's doing on Twitter. And what will happen is they'll do it, and it'll work out. And they'll do it, it'll work out. And they get emboldened, and they'll go further and further and further and further until finally he does something that hurts him, and then everybody says, hey, you need to stop. And then you'll notice that he'll stop tweeting for a while, and then the cycle begins again. So what happened this past time was, I think he was fairly careful about the way that he said things, because he certainly was stoking I wouldn't want to say, it seems to me like he's stoking racial tensions, but that he didn't actually say anything racist. So he is going to continue to do this sort of a thing. And I think it's an important thing to keep in mind because that means that he's more likely to say something that might move the market today. I mean, he already has moved the market, right? But I think that's what's going on over there with Donald Trump right now. Any thoughts on what the MES might do? Well, they certainly are selling today, aren't they? But they're still in this area where I just can't. I don't know. Your short RTY from last Thursday? Yeah, he says 3006 would have been a good short. Interesting. Well, I don't know. So I'm just noticing right here. So there's usually a spike before the E-mini open. And sure enough, they are doing the spike. And it's one of the biggest of the day. Now, that might mean lower, but they have been kind of moving down in lockstep. U.S. President Trump says China is willing to give up a lot in trade talks. Okay. Oh. I keep forgetting. 3025 if this holds. I don't know. I've honestly kind of given up on the E-mini lately. I just don't feel like I have a good enough read of the order flow. It's just so different. I have thought maybe I need to change this to a range chart. Let's get rid of this. If I duplicate this in a new tab and I change this from a tick to like a 4 range chart, let's see if that changes anything. All right. Data series, make sure it's a box. Yeah, okay. Let's see if that can fix it so that I can see the overextension, because that's the problem. It's like you just can't see the overextension in the E-mini. You think you see it, and then they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. President Trump says he's not sure if he'll accept China's offer in talks. Okay. More iceberging. Very big icebergs all the way up. So just there on the open, a little bit of selling in ES. Don't give up, Seth. I'll get back in here and give better call signals. Well, that would help too. I'm kind of wondering though, Ace, is maybe part of it is the summer, because like in the 30 minutes before, which was a trade that I really liked, I haven't really been seeing them anymore. I suppose this morning I maybe could have done that, but you wouldn't have gotten very much from it. But I tried doing it, and I had a couple of them where it's like uh, just worked out absolutely terribly, you know? Okay, well, this normally a signal in that spot would possibly indicate a reversal, but it's been so range bound anyways. And this is, I think, largely happening because of the E-mini. I think that we just have to ignore it. Could see a push to test this area of prior TPOX. Well, I think that they could push down to below 3,000. Hey, I catch you later, No Monkey. Thanks for stopping in again. And just like if we come back over here, the only thing that I can see that makes sense is that there is definitely a range here between 3,000 and 3,030 that we've kind of been toying around with for quite some time. You can see the support here; it was resistance, and now that we've finally come up and held 3,000, resistance becomes support. I suppose the resistance would have to be 3,000 to 3,010. That one's a sell, I think. They are selling it in the E-mini, but it is not actually quite as strong as it appears on that chart. It's only about 1,000 so far. No fill. Interesting. Wow. I guess I wasn't quite done with my thought there, but I'm just seeing there's this spot right here. So I think they could test the low end of this. They might even break out a little bit lower. But how am I to say that then at that point that it's going to turn into a trend down day? I guess the one thing that might be in favor of it being a trend down day is because we have China news. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, how is that it's such a big mover in the market? Like, you guys haven't already discounted that? It's kind of strange to me, especially since we've had some more significant China trade news a couple of weeks ago and it didn't really move the market. You know what? I need to get rid of that little. I guess I shouldn't do it now, but that little red price marker needs to go. This has been an extremely slow move up in treasuries. I guess if we'd kept that, we got in at 11, right? Did we get 11? We didn't get 11. We got 11 half, which is reasonable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we had held, but I think I think I did the right thing. I think it did the right thing. And this one is a short, but we didn't get filled. Luke Nuke, I pulled the sell order at 17 after I saw the sell pressure and missed the move down. Should have stayed with my short bias. Triple bottom. I didn't see that. Interesting. See, this is exactly, so here's another great example of what the E-mini does. Oops, wrong one. Confuses me. So you can see it's just kind of moving. There actually was a little bit of outsized big boy action right there at 3002 when it turned. But then notice how as it's coming back up, a lot less interest. And every time that I've tried doing something based off of that, it doesn't work. There's something there. I'm not going to say that that I don't have anything. It's just, I haven't been able to figure it out yet. And I don't think I should be touching it until I do. Every trader just drew a line at 3,150. It was quite a quick turnaround too. But, it could totally just turn around back again if I bought that there. I might be getting a signal here again. A second chance. Okay. Well, 2,000 bid when you get filled is not necessarily what you want to see. And did we get... I think that it counts, but it's already gone. You gotta run. I'll catch you later as well, Algo. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. So what I'm getting right now is that they're concerned that the E-mini is going to turn down for another leg, and that's why they're trading up a little bit. I suppose if you want, I could buy the E-mini here, and then that way it would go down. No? All right, all right. We just let it do its own thing then. This is doing okay there. They try and tick up again? Ace finally laughing. I'm just telling you. Now that because I didn't buy it, that's why it went up. I'm telling you. They're watching me. They're watching me and they're saying like, well, we can't ever let Seth have success in the E-mini because if he did, then maybe he would get popular. We'd have so many people coming in here taking our money. Wouldn't be good. So we got to always make sure that we wash him out first before we move. This trade looks like it's bad. They're trying to squeeze me out. I think that spot right there wasn't quite what I thought it was. New York Fed president, there's a good chance the Fed will be one and done. You know, that's a good point. I was thinking about this yesterday. I was looking at the chart and I was like, okay, so how often has it been that they start reducing rates and then they move higher? And it's quite often. If you just look at that in isolation, it happens quite a bit. Well, now that we're short, we're kind of getting the same thing that we were getting before and the other way. This bid at 14.5 is not, is being stubborn. One thing that might increase your viewer number is a profit and loss display that reads something more than 0. Well, I had it higher before. Remember? I keep it here, and I had it at like 125, right? 125. Da, 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 da. Oops, there's an extra space in there. Yay! Was thinking I should just get rid of it because the question was would putting that there increase new users, and I think it looks nice, so maybe I just kind of left it there, but I don't think that people actually care about that. I think that the type of person that we're looking to attract and that are going to be interested in this stream aren't going to be the people that are only looking to join a channel because they think that that person has a serious edge or something. Oh, we got CB's consumer confidence in 15 minutes. Thank you for reminding us, Lewis. Listen, I am totally all in on any kind of like clickbait or, whatever it is that we can do to grow our community, just as long as we're growing a good community. Because what I don't want to have happen is we become massively popular, 10,000, and then the chat room is just full of idiots. I don't want that. Well, that's interesting that they hit into the 14 as hard as they did, but now they're making 14.5 go bid again. Also, what is going on in the E-mini? Are they going to turn back down again? I can't tell. And there, they sold it at 14 again. Anyways, I think I might just get rid of the 12.5 or the 125 thing. But I think what I want to do, maybe in a couple of months, because right now I'm trying to save everything up to put as much as we can in August, and then in January. But I want to like get rid of this and have like a light board behind us. That would be cool, right? We can put like a stock ticker on it. And then if I can find one that's programmable enough, I could program something in so that like if anybody does a donated comment on YouTube, so you can do that, then it will show up on the light board until the next person's. That would be great. They're going to join to hear your commentary about Donald Trump's ADHD. Exactly. Well, that's exactly what it is. Honestly, when you think about it, because it's not a ton of people that aren't going to be interested in hearing that, but those are the sorts of things that I have that are unique. I think that for watching a stream, that for most people it's about the person, right? I think that people tune in because they enjoy hanging out with me and they enjoy hanging out with you guys. I guess that's another really big part, is that you guys are really good traders, and just being around here in this channel can help you because of you guys, not necessarily me, right? But I think that that's what keeps people around. Well, given that there's news coming out soon, I kind of want to get out of this, but they're still making me think that maybe they're going to tick down a few. The MES is an 8-point opening range. They're kind of giving me some price patterns that I'm not too enthralled with over in the E-mini. If they don't make a new high here. They might do it. They're getting close. That was an awful... Oh, Ace said short 3008, and then that was an awful call. Well, it just came back down there again. Gosh. Do you see the way that took? Rush of orders, and then immediately 2,000 on the bid. Just like, boink. It's not the first time it's done that there at 14.5, though, is it? I am getting a signal. This is interesting. It was pretty much oversold last night. The cumulative delta is turning down again. I'm kind of thinking here. I don't know. I just don't feel super confident about it. I'm thinking right here at 3009. Something like that. I'm more interested in what's going on here at 14.5 in the treasuries though. See, there's some short volume, but they're pushing them into highs. Looks like that's not going to work. Okay. That was a pretty significant downtick in that one. There was 3,000 stacked on it. So the seller really digging in now. And I got another confirmation signal. I think I'm supposed to just stay in it. Okay. I shouldn't have put this one in here. It's just distracting me. It's okay. I put it in on sim. It doesn't matter. Okay. Well, a 4-tick swing would be a little unusual here. But let's see what they do. They've been doing 8 and 12s. 7, 5. There was a 5. Guess you could get a 5 here. 4 to 5. I didn't get a very good price there either. Should have been 14.5. There's a big op bid at 11.5. Is it going to hold? I might be getting the no signal here. So it's kind of odd action. Even he's still moving up. You see how we're down. Okay. We're one tick from the low. You would think maybe some people would come in here and decide to buy it here. Maybe there would be some interest here. Maybe there'd be people putting in some bids and offers to try and push it around. And what's happening here? Absolutely nothing. It's the no signal. If it was at the low, if it was doing that at 11, then I would say reversal. But now that it's doing it one tick higher, I'm not so sure, because the thing that I would be looking for here is the buy. And you're not seeing an increase in interest here. So that that suggests that there could be another rush down. Especially as the E-mini is pushing up. Seems like the E-mini moving up might have been what finally caused the collapse. 11.5 was a price that had some liquidity on it, wasn't it? There's a lot of volume to come out too. There's 10-point opening range. So is that a common, like the opening range on average tends to be 10 points? I think I need to think about taking this off now. Of course, I move my order up and they tick up. I have that 11 is from much earlier. That 18 right there. Gosh dang it. You're not supposed to do that. From my years of looking at charts, my belief is the ES likes to move in roughly 5-point increments. Okay. Okay. I will maybe study that. Hey, by the way, tomorrow I'm going to take the day off tomorrow, so we'll probably program some stuff. So maybe we could put that on the list. I am so upset at the moment. Well, let's just let it go and see what happens. But that just came back. Okay, the number that we're looking for is 125 consumer confidence. Okay. Well, that was fucking lucky. Where is my... I am really confused. Man. They really didn't want to go for a new low there, huh? It's still low liquidity and low action. I'm confused. Where did my stop go? Come on. There we go. Okay. Okay. So what was the number? What was the number? Because that was fucking crazy. Okay. Okay, consumer confidence was 135.7 versus 125.1, and pending home sales was 2.8 versus spot 5. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is awful. I mean, I made a great trade there. Oh, you know what? We need to add our hold on a second. Hold on a second. How do I do it? I forget how I do it now. Filters. There we go. There we go. Okay. So. Cool. We're good. We're done. But we got lucky. Anyways, I was going to say yesterday. This is freaking hilarious. So yesterday I was having this discussion with my wife. And I was like, well, you know, it would be nice. Maybe we could go in and buy a rental property. We could buy something to rent and pay the mortgage of that with the renting. And you would just have to find the right thing and then you could, you know, build it up. Because maybe we need another project after the house or something. I mean, she likes doing that sort of a thing. So maybe we could do that. And she could remodel the kitchen and the bathrooms in this new rental property, right? And it came into this discussion about, well, you know, the real estate market. Yeah, I love hearing about their pillow talk. I know, right? Well, I'm an argumentative person. Here's the thing. Here's part of the reason why it works with myself and Melissa. I'm a very disagreeable person. She, I would say, is a fairly agreeable person, but she is not a pushover. She has that way of telling me that I'm wrong without being disagreeable. She's a very likable personality. I tell you, everybody comes up, she's like, I like that Melissa person. She's not like the person that's like, oh, she's like my favoriteest person ever and it was so amazing or anything like that. It's just like everybody kind of comes off with that kind of that general feeling of like, she's a really nice girl. I really like her. Anyways, so, but the whole thing was, as I was saying, well, the numbers have been saying that the real estate market hasn't been very good. And she says, well, that's not what I've been seeing, because every time that I look at my Facebook, all of my real estate friends are like, oh, the real estate market is doing great and they're making tons of sales and everything. And I'm like, well, you know, that's anecdotal, but that's not what the data has been showing. And then here today, pending home sales 2.8% versus an expected 5. I was so wrong. JV says you're very disagreeable. Yeah, I know it. It's a personality trait, right? It's genetic. My father is that way too. Melissa hates this trading room. She calls us the great unwashed. She thinks we are taking him away from her husband. Sometimes he talks to us in his sleep. Okay, so you know what? This is a good time for this. I got something else to show you, right? Since we're talking about her. Where is it? Let me see if I can pull this over here. Hold on. Oh, no, I don't want to download that right now. Okay. All right. Come on. And that's not what I wanted, but whatever. Hold on. There we go. All right. Here. This is a video we made the other day.
Mine is not the smallest. Oh, don't open it. I know what that is. We ready? Recording?
Oh wait, it's not gonna.
What do we do?
Yeah,
Hold on,
we're
wait.
recording. It's recording. Go ahead.
Okay, open it. It's not. You just have to lift the lid off.
You're pregnant, aren't you?
Open the box.
You're pregnant. I knew it. I knew it. What is this for? She's pregnant.
They're baby dragons.
She's pregnant.
You have triplets?
I told her she was pregnant. That was my prediction.
She doesn't have triplets.
Okay,
Let's see if Everett's right. You can set that down.
wait a minute. See, look. Mom's pregnant.
Open it. Pull it out.
See, Mom's pregnant.
Oh, they had the shirts. I forgot about the shirts.
Oh, Abby and Michelle have to
I
switch.
knew it.
Abby and Michelle switch.
I knew it. Show the pictures. I knew it.
Are you excited?
Yeah. Of course I am. Wait, what is this? It's a baby.
There's a lot of little ticks there. Look at all those bits.
I knew it.
That's the baby. That little blob.
I knew it. Yay. Oh, so it's just tiny.
Actually, I'm going to tweet that.
I knew it.
You're gonna have a little baby.
I knew
Are you
it.
crying? Are you so excited?
I'm gonna have a baby girl or a baby boy. I'm gonna be a big sister. Guys, I have one thing.
All right. Anyways, that's it. So yeah, she's pregnant, 13 weeks. Thank you for. He says, "Nice family. Thanks for sharing." Thank you. They're not my kids. You know, those are my stepkids. Obviously, I got to tell you, they are not. They are not. What is the word that JV just used? Argumentative or cantankerous. They have extremely high language skills. So, and I don't think that they get that from me. But they are great, especially that older one. Did you notice he immediately knew the fact that we were even setting something up like that? He immediately knew that it was because we were having a baby. Let's see here. What else? So you don't spend all your time thinking about the market. 13 weeks, right? Well, I probably spend too much of my time thinking about the markets. Now Ace is going short 12, huh? Well, I won't think that one's worth trying again, huh? Yeah, I want to see the open, potentially. What else? You can be proud of the job you two are doing with those children. Oh, thank you. I mean, it's not, because they're only here, well, about 60% of the time, right? We get them like 4 days of the week, and the ex gets them 3 days of the week. Because if you don't know this, right, I don't know how particularly relevant it is, but basically, she was married for 10 years. He was gay and cheating on her for pretty much that whole time. So she left. And then, she met me pretty soon after their divorce was finalized. And he went and he married a guy. So they have 3 dads basically now. But, and so it's always kind of like a thing like, okay, well, what we're doing at our house, I know, is really different from what they're doing at their house. And I hope that I'm doing all the things right and not, creating confusion or anything like that. But they just are really sharp in terms of language skills. And so you just have to talk to them and ask them what's going on. Anyways, so Ace has said something else interesting that we wanted to talk about. Real estate. Now you are out in West Valley looking at houses full of buttholes, clogged toilets, and after you buy something, the squatters burn it down. Also, those are cute kids. If I do it, it might be in West Valley. I might go out and buy one in West Valley. or maybe just here in Davis County. But I would really like to go and find if I could find a duplex that was a good enough deal. I think that I might get together with my parents and go in together on it. IQ says, congrats. Thank you very much. If you guys want, I have an edited version of that and I'll put it up on YouTube so you can watch it. This is going well. Okay, so Ace says there's my 2 points. And he's right. So I think I've been moving it around more like this, but I think if I was trading multiple contracts like he was, I would want to take it off here. But because we're not, I'm just kind of have to be like quick on the trigger, right? That was a pretty wild move lower. So when we took that, we were short from 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they went a little bit past that. I think I saw the exit really well, though. I should be really happy with myself about that. Well, I mean, I left it on through the news because I had a little bit to give. It worked out, so I would say that it's lucky. But after the news happened, I was happy with how I was able to handle the exit. And when I took the initial trade, I was really happy with how I took the initial trade too. So there you go. I think I made some pretty big mistakes today, but we still came out on top. This is a new thing for me. Man, this is like a really new thing because usually I'm going back and I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, okay, if I had done the right thing and I had made this extra tick here and I had made this extra tick here, then maybe I would be profitable instead of down. But today, it's like I had one signal that I just completely got wrong and missed big opportunity. Then I had a second one that I think I played right, but I didn't get. And then I had the other two that I took that I didn't get the right price on, but were still winners. And then this whole thing, and I still end up profitable. That's pretty cool. Well, it looks like I just missed my spot. Think about all the work a flip would entail versus putting your money into your trading account. You earn 1 tick on the E-mini. That is a 2.5% return on your investment. No, I mean, you have a point. But you got to diversify. You know what I'm talking about? And the idea is that the renting the property out would almost completely pay for the mortgage on it, and I would be sharing it probably with my dad, who's a real estate agent. And yeah, it would be a lot of work, but I kind of sit down and wonder, like, okay, well, maybe not. Maybe it's not such a good idea now, but maybe in 5 years from now, when the kid is older, or when the kid is in school, then it's going to be back to bored. You know what I mean? But you're right. Most everything that I'm saving right now is going into the trading account. So, because the idea here is, if this continues to work well, and I'd have to say that it has been, yeah. Now this way of trading is a little. I'm just noticing today. Before that trade, I wasn't feeling super great about it. That first trade in particular, like screwing that up, really demoralized me, I felt. And it seems like with this one, you're going to lose at least 40% of the time. And yeah, so that's one problem with this particular one. Until you come by to check on things in West Valley, and there is a police tape everywhere, and you can't rent it till the murder investigation wraps up in 5 years. Oh, man. Let's see, what's JB saying? A friend of mine owns a couple of rentals in DC. He says his secret to keeping good tenants is to offer them a discount on their rent if they pay it early every month. They all take the deal when they first move in. As soon as one of them doesn't manage to take the discount, he knows he's got a problem and will start working on resolving the issue. That's, thank you for that. That's actually totally makes sense to me. Yeah, so I lived in West Valley. So for those of you guys that aren't familiar with Utah, we'll show you a map. We'll show you a map. Okay. So this is Salt Lake City. Okay. And the way that Salt Lake City works is all of the rich people, this is the avenues right here. Oh, that's terrible. You can't even see that. Let's do blue. Okay. Here's the avenues. Sugar House. This is where all of the rich liberal people live. You know those people that are like, they're super rich and they're super liberal and they're like, oh, we need to do more to help the poor. But then when they want to put a homeless shelter in their neighborhood, they all freak out. Yeah, that's Sugar House. It happens there all the time. And then as you kind of go down further, this area, like the Mill Creek area, South Salt Lake area, it's not like super great. Some of these areas are pretty nice, especially when you get up into Olympus and Cottonwood Heights are all pretty nice areas, right? But the thing is that the east, it's really an east side, west side sort of a thing. So like the east side, the people on the east side, oh, why is that so big? The people on the east side think that the people on the west side are crazy, right? Now this area right here, probably like South Jordan in particular, that's actually pretty nice because that's so brand new. But then you get West Valley. And it's kind of like everything west of the freeway people consider to be like the ghetto, which is not, I mean, it's Utah. Like there's literally no ghetto in Utah. But West Valley is pretty awful. So I lived there in West Valley, and I lived like way out here, like right there. And it was like a brand new development. So it was pretty good. Is anybody worried that Seth is going to draw a penis? Huh? Okay. There you go. Sorry about that. Called it. I wouldn't have had no. It was totally not my intention, but since you saw it. Anyways, I lived like way out here, and it was actually pretty nice. But I remember one time going to the Walmart, and there was a shooting, and that was about the point that my wife was like, we got to move out of here. She didn't like the schools there, so we moved basically out of Salt Lake, and we live up in here. So we live up in this is basically like that suburb that's a 30-minute drive away from the main city, just like in New York, everybody, all of the traders, they actually live in Connecticut. It's kind of the same thing. So we live up in Davis County. This is also much higher percentage population of Mormons up in Davis County. But anyways, I mean, West Valley is bad. Kearns is pretty ghetto. I actually don't feel comfortable in Kearns. But West Valley is kind of like, it's run down, but it's really not. Like the funny thing about West Valley is everybody says like, oh, that's, West Valley, that's ghetto, and that's where all the Mexicans live. And if you go out to West Valley, it is mostly minorities. It really is mostly minorities. But you know what? these minorities are so ballin'. Like when I lived in that apartment complex, I think I was like the only white guy lived on that road, but those guys, they were living it up. They had nice stuff. They were not poor at all. They were smart people too. A lot of them were like Indians, or they were like working in tech and stuff. Like they were rich. It's kind of weird. But anyways, that's West Valley for you. It's ghetto for Utah, which isn't really ghetto. But I digress. Where I live, there's been like one murder in Davis County, like ever. And it was suicide by cop. Like it's completely different. They had a pretty good reversal off of those lows. It's 822. I'm wondering. Oh, and by the way, in the E-mini, a lot of those guys are hard workers. They do the heavy lifting of society. I would agree with that. Well, like I was saying, most of the people that I live next to in that area were working in tech. So that's where it was like, if you talk to people in Utah, they'll say, oh, that's where all of the lazy minorities live, but it's not true. They're not, they aren't like the, what do you want to say? You know, all the people that work in housing and construction and landscaping or anything like that. That's not that demographic at all. At least not in Utah. I have to say, though, it's another thing is that when I was a missionary, and almost everybody that I spoke to was Spanish speaking, and yeah, they do hard labor and they work pretty hard. And it was quite striking to me that it was like they're working so hard and then they send half of their money home. So they're working so hard and not even necessarily for themselves, which is really, really something else to me. But I kind of wonder if that's not... See, I think that we're getting a signal here at 12. If you could get filled at 12. It might go to 12 after 13. But I think we're getting a legit signal. That one time in Davis County, things got out of hand when Sister Johnson caught Sister Thompson copying her Jello salad recipe. They brought in the drug dogs to settle everyone down. You know they would do that too. Have you guys ever seen... well, not you guys, but Ace, go and look up verses to Police Bust, man. So they were having this rave up in the mountains, and I think that there actually were drugs at that party. They were confiscating them, but the police claimed that they would confiscate the drugs and then just go back and turn around and sell it. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I wouldn't put it past them, but they're up in the mountains and they just like full on helicopters and SWAT team and everything, like total. Oh my gosh. All it would take, honestly, for a party like that, all it would take is one cop come in and say, okay, we're shutting the party down. And that would be it. And they totally overdo it. Everything in Utah when it comes, because the police are bored. You know, like if you have a chance to call the SWAT team out, they do it because otherwise the SWAT team would never do anything. It turns out if you shred carrots into the recipe, it's technically not copying. A friend of mine had a missionary for LREL the other day, friend at the gym. So a couple of the gym people came in, and most of the people from the gym are LDS, but they're also not from Utah. And, you know, this friend lives in Davis County. They're like, oh my gosh, it was like the 1970s. Like the dresses and the hairstyles of all of the women was like from 1970, and like it was like a completely foreign world. Everything. I thought it was pretty funny. As they do, if you get too high a concentration of Mormons, folks, bad things happen. It's just like anything else. You have to have diversity of thought, guys. Diversity of thought is important. I don't think that our society realizes how important diversity of thought is. People like me, that's one of the big things that I've learned in the past 5 years. Turns out I'm a highly disagreeable person. Society needs people like me. But if society was only people like me, it would be a complete effing disaster. Nothing would ever get done if everybody was like me, right? But you need to have at least one guy like me. That's the way it works. If you don't, then people start doing dumb things. And there's no, everybody's like, everything's great. We're all just happy and agreeable and everything. And then you don't have the guy to sit there and say, no, we're all about to die. It's like, you know what? I think a movie that does this really well is the Trolls movie, right? The guy that is like the conspiracy theorist and everything like that. That's they needed him, right? And they didn't listen to him, and they lost everything. That's one of the lessons that we learned from Trolls, is that you need to have diversity of thought, folks. When I see 70s, 80s dress hair, I immediately think that's exactly what they said. Oh, man. I tell you, a strange thing to do is to go out to Colorado City. I hope and pray that you never have a reason to go out to Colorado City. All right. Because it is not a nice place, and they're not nice. Like, so I had to go to Colorado City because I used to work for Fat Boy Ice Cream, and what I would do is I would go to the stores and make sure that they had the product in the right place and talk to the frozen food manager, and you would like develop a relationship with them, and they would make sure that your product looked nice, and that it like makes a big difference as to how much you sell. You would be surprised. Because I would go out to like NPS and do it myself. I would go and take some of the stock that they had in the back and like make room for it and like move everybody else's stuff away and make more room for mine. And then they would sell a ton, and then they would need another shipment. So anyways, I would go and do this. And once a year we would go and do a trip where we'd go and get all of the stores in Southern Utah. And so they have it in Colorado City. And so one of the things that I did was I went out to Colorado City, the quick little drive over there from St. George. Well, it's not quick. It's a long drive. It's out there. And, first thing I do is I stop and I get gas. And as soon as you stop in that town, you are being told, I'm not kidding. Like, I could see people from a distance watching me. Okay. And then I go into this store. Okay. And yeah, Ace beat me to it. Those guys are so inbred. They have a new low of ugly women. I hate the way that they treat their kids / women, especially the young boys. Google Lost Boys, yeah. So what I saw was I go in and they're like, "What are you doing here?" Like I go into the store and they're like shocked that I'm there. Like why would anybody from outside the town come into our grocery store? And I'm like, oh, I'm just here to talk to the frozen food manager to make sure that the product is out. So I get to talk to the frozen food manager, and it's this kid. It's like I want to say that he was maybe in his, well, I don't really know. He was anywhere from 16 to like 25 or something, But he was a teenager of sorts, and he was totally inbred. Like there was something wrong with that kid. And, but he had a job at least, so we must be doing okay in that society for him to even have the job as a frozen food manager. That must mean that you can't be so bad. Maybe he was good even though he's totally inbred, right? But man. And so you go there and like you're waiting in line for the grocery store, and there will be 3 women sitting in front of you, right? You're like the oldest woman in front, and then so there'd be like a 40-year-old girl, and then a 30-year-old girl, and then a 20-year-old girl, and then like a teenager. Like I'm not even fucking kidding. It's like while you're like, what the heck? I can't even. It's so shocking that this is just happening out in the open and that they literally own this city. And as soon as you get in there, they're tailing you. I mean, they own the police, they own everything. It's scary. You just want out of there. And yeah, and there'd be like 3 girls, but they're not good looking at all. And they all wear literally the same dress. Like that, literally the same thing. It's not cool. The good thing about those kids, when their parents divorce, their mom and dad are still cousins. Shoot, dude. I wonder what it's like now, because this was 2004, I want to say. No. 2006. So this was before all the Warren Jeff stuff and all of that stuff. So I don't know what it's like down there now. I'm told that it's still pretty bad though. And it's not a pretty thing, but it's crazy out there. Okay, well, I think that we should go in and something that I want to start doing is I want to go into Jigsaw and try and categorize my traits. So, oops, I need to log in first. Okay. I don't know how to enable the push notifications for this. It's not ad block that I want. Yeah, it's different in Chrome. Anyways, so my traits. So I want showing 1 to 13 of 13 entries. When is this showing like? Oh, this is showing like a long time period. I just want it today. Okay. Why is, they need to fix this Jigsaw. Jigsaw, please fix. How come I can't see more? Okay, so this one was, what was it actually? Okay, so this one was had to exit before news. How do I notes? That's right. Okay, so I was looking at this and I don't even have. How do I change this? How do I change this? Tools. No. I think so. This is going to take a lot of time. Now I need to change that. I need to find this. Where is it? Journal queue. Oh, that's cool. I swear it was like under tools. No. Hold on, I might have to search through some weird spots. Economic news. Ooh. That's not right. Where is it? Do you guys know where it is? Oh, here it is right here in the playbook. Okay, so I'm just gonna I had a bunch of different ones that I don't really need anymore. Keep the zipper. Okay. And let's create reversal. Continuation. and news. Okay. And this one, just give it a capital Z. Capital Z update. Okay. And just today. Better. So this one was a reversal. And it went to against me. Did I follow my plan? Yes. I'm going to give it a... So let it come back on me. I then still had profit to play the news. Let it go and got lucky. So this one should be right here. Finding a Kraken. Oh boy. It's a cryptocurrency fiend, huh? How's it going? By the way, what did Bitcoin... Oh, they're still at 9,700. I don't know. I'm a little concerned for what Bitcoin might do after Wednesday, but let's just kind of like wait it out and see what happened. Oh, what the heck? Was it doing the speak stuff? Okay, so anyways, I think that one's good. Okay. Oh, you know what? So the way that we gotta do it is like, okay, we'll leave this one right here alone. What was that? Oh, that was the, okay. Hopefully I can do this correctly. 31. Ignore that one. Ignore that one. Okay. So that's right. So we had 4. So here, this one was a continuation. Should have gotten +2, but was too close to news. I felt really bad at the exit. The important thing is that I put these in as that I was looking for a continuation or a reversal. So this one was placed at 634. This is the one that I was looking for a continuation. This was a did not follow my plan. Well, I don't want to say I said followed, but I didn't react well to the market behavior. Awful. It was a bad trade. Bad read was a reverse. Oh, what the heck? Missed. So what am I doing? I am taking down the notes for my trades today. So this is a trade that I took earlier where I lost 3 ticks on it. And I was expecting it to be a continuation, but I was wrong. I misread that trade. I got a signal, but I misread that one. Okay, this one. Oh, maybe this is the one that I was thinking of. What was the other one that I had? That was, okay, this one was looking for a reversal. Read correctly, but it didn't work out. Should have gotten out sooner. Boom. Okay. So yes, did not react well to the market behavior. Okay. And then this one was a 2-tick. Why does it do that? Click on the microphone and begin speaking. Oh, so it's doing that the whole time. Anyways, okay. Good trade was worth much more, but we ran into a 11 tick zipper, so I exited. And I'd say, oh, was I clicking these the wrong way? I'd say I followed my plan. Yep. I like that one. Safe. Okay. Cool. So I think that's everything on there. Bum 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 bum. Bring back up my ZN. I'm just gonna make this really big here for a second so that we can kind of see if we're going back, you know, what it looked like. There's a big signal right there. There's a reversal at 13. You could still take it. Anyways, finding Kraken. I wish we're about to go. But you should check out maybe tomorrow. I'm always here starting at 6 or 8:20 Eastern time. And we're trading treasuries, so it's like order flow. It might be different from what you're used to, but I would say if you watch, and I'm not like the most amazing trader or anything, but you will at the very least learn about some things that you should be looking at in markets that most traders do not know about, and that I think will provide you a considerable edge. It's not like it's a guaranteed for you to win or anything like that, but it will at least give you a fighting chance. So I feel like I'm missing something else, folks. Oh yes, we need to do the cryptocurrency charts. Generate charts. They're going to give me a new value. That would be nice. Okay, so at 9,500, it's giving us a reading of 120. And so we'll post this and get going. By the way, I am going to stream the debate tonight, so 15 minutes before the debate. I think that it starts at 8:15 Eastern time, I think, right? So if you guys would enjoy that. Whoa, wait a second. I can upload images. So can I just upload all of these now? Yes, I can. I want this one to be the top one. Cool. That makes my life so much easier. I told you that was a good short. Just saying. It's a good way of trading. I'm super happy with this so far. I mean, it's not, you can't just see the thing and know what it's going to do. You still have to make a choice, but it at least gets you in at the right spot. And if it's doing swings, you get good risk reward, and you get, and I tell you what, even if you fuck up, you can come out on top. I'm quite impressed with how this is working so far. We'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the real test because it's FOMC day, but I don't think I'll trade it after the FOMC, but maybe if it's not super tight. Okay. see. Yep, I'll see you later. So, that is it. I am going to post this here now. Oh wait, I've got it select here and change all the options and stuff every time. Publish now. I feel like we're quite a bit delayed today for some reason. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'd say it's a pretty successful day. Difficult to action, but I was able to pull something off, and I got really fucking lucky, to be honest. Because I made some big mistakes, didn't I? But I'm still happy about it. And I will catch you guys later. Later tonight, if you guys want to join us to watch the debate together. And in the meantime, hey, stay profitable, friends.